The stage was set for a routine promotional interview. What unfolded between Clint Eastwood and George Stephanopoulos on Good Morning America quickly became anything but ordinary.
Ow.
Tensions brewed the moment Stephanopoulos veered off script, shifting the conversation from Eastwood's upcoming film to his political views. Eastwood, who's known for his stoic presence and no-nonsense attitude, sat still at first, letting the line of questioning play out. But when Stephanopoulos suggested that Eastwood's worldview might be stuck in the past, the veteran actor-director calmly removed his earpiece. "I came here to talk about a film, not defend who I am," Eastwood said in a low but unmistakably firm voice. The silence in the studio was palpable. Stephanopoulos, momentarily caught off guard, attempted to recover with a follow-up, but Eastwood was already standing. Without raising his voice or breaking into theatrics, he looked toward the camera, muttered, "Let's not pretend this is journalism." With that, he walked off the set. Producers scrambled. Control room threw up a quick cut to commercial. Within minutes, social media lit up with clips of the moment. Some praised Eastwood's dignity and refusal to engage in manufactured drama. Others questioned whether Stephanopoulos had gone too far. Either way, the footage had already gone viral, and the conversation had shifted from the film to the moment. Eastwood quietly took control of the narrative. By the time Good Morning America returned from commercial, Clint Eastwood was already gone, leaving George Stephanopoulos to deliver an awkward transition and a half-hearted apology to viewers. The damage, however, had been done. Social media exploded, not just with support for Eastwood's.com exit, but with criticism of the show's confrontational tone. The hashtag Eastwood walk-off began trending within the hour, as millions weighed in on whether journalistic curiosity had crossed a line into provocation. Clips of the moment were dissected in real time on YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok, with users praising Eastwood's composure and skewering the show for what many called a baited ambush. Industry voices quickly followed. Several entertainment journalists voiced concerns about how network television has blurred the line between interviews and viral traps, especially when legacy guests are involved. Eastwood showed more control by leaving than most do by staying, one media critic tweeted. Meanwhile, Hollywood insiders reportedly applauded his exit behind the scenes. Agents, publicists, and even a few directors expressed renewed caution about sending talent onto live morning programs with unpredictable agendas. In an era where celebrities are often criticized for overreacting, Eastwood's walk-off struck a different chord. He didn't yell, he didn't threaten, he simply got up and left. And in doing so, he made a statement louder than any shouting match ever could. In the days that followed Clint Eastwood's sudden departure from Good Morning America, the ripple effects continued to spread through the entertainment industry and news media alike. ABC executives were said to be in crisis mode, conducting internal reviews of the segment and scrambling to manage backlash. Stephanopoulos, though experienced in high-stakes interviews, remained mostly silent on the matter, his only public comment being a vague reference to miscommunication. Behind the scenes, however, producers reportedly received sharp criticism for pushing too hard and misjudging Eastwood's tolerance for politicized framing. Several longtime journalists quietly acknowledged that the moment had exposed a growing problem: the prioritization of controversy over content, reaction over respect. Meanwhile, Eastwood himself offered no comment and issued no statement, his silence, again, speaking volumes. Instead, he returned to filming, declining interviews, and skipping press junkets. That silence fueled even more admiration among fans and industry veterans who saw his walk-off not as an overreaction, but as a quiet masterclass in setting boundaries. For many, it reaffirmed what Eastwood had always represented: grit without spectacle, presence without noise. As one prominent director put it during a roundtable discussion, he didn't storm out. He just stood up, and the whole building shook. And as debates raged on talk shows and op-eds, Eastwood's actions remained unedited, unrepented, and unmistakably his own. The Clint Eastwood-George Stephanopoulos clash quickly transcended the realm of celebrity gossip, sparking intense cultural commentary on the state of modern media. Opinion columns in major publications split sharply, some defending Stephanopoulos for doing his job as an interviewer, others accusing him of ambushing a legend under the guise of journalism. But the loudest voices came not from pundits, but from the public. Viewers across age groups flooded comment sections and forums, praising Eastwood for his calm refusal to play along with a perceived trap. He didn't need to yell to win. One viral post read, "He walked out and took the whole show's dignity with him." The moment became more than entertainment. It became a symbol of an exhausted public, growing weary of staged confrontation disguised as content. Asterisk at the same time, other celebrities began quietly reconsidering their own approach to press appearances. Reports emerged that several high-profile guests began requesting tighter pre-interview guidelines, or skipping the circuit altogether. Some hosts, sensing a shift, adopted more cautious tones in their questioning, fearful of becoming the next viral misstep. Meanwhile, late-night comics couldn't resist poking fun, airing exaggerated reenactments of Eastwood glowering across a brightly lit morning set. But even the satire acknowledged the truth. Eastwood had managed to turn a routine media stop into a cultural statement, without threats, without tantrums, without sound effects, just a single moment of calm defiance. And that, he reminded everyone watching, that silence, when wielded with confidence, can be the most powerful answer of all. Asterisk in the weeks that followed. Good Morning America found itself on the defensive, facing scrutiny not just from viewers but from within its own ranks. Off the record, some staffers admitted that the segment had been mishandled, that pushing Clint Eastwood on political matters during what was pitched as a film promo was a miscalculation. Internally, conversations began to shift, with senior producers reassessing how far interviews could go before crossing into provocation. Some floated the idea of recalibrating the show's tone altogether, worrying that chasing viral moments might be eroding trust with both audiences and high-profile guests. Meanwhile, rival networks quietly capitalized, reaching out to publicists with promises of more artist-friendly appearances, hoping to avoid their own Eastwood moment. Asterisk, but Clint Eastwood, true to form, never addressed the incident again. No publicist issued clarifications, no damage control op-eds, simply moved on back to set, back to work, back to silence. That refusal to engage became part of the story itself. As one film critic noted in a Sunday essay, in a world where everyone's explaining themselves to death, Eastwood reminded us what dignity looks like. The clip of him calmly removing his earpiece and walking out played again and again, not because it was dramatic, because it wasn't. No yelling, no theatrics, just principle. And in that understated defiance, he reminded an entire industry and audience what it means to command respect without ever asking for it. Asterisk, as award season approached, and Eastwood's film continued its quiet climb in critical buzz, his unexpected exit from Good Morning America still lingered in the background, not as scandal, but as legend. Think pieces reframed the moment as a masterclass in boundaries, a deliberate act of resistance against a media culture addicted to confrontation. At film festivals, younger actors reportedly whispered admiration for how Eastwood handled that mess. Industry veterans called it vintage Eastwood, silent, sharp, and grounded. Even directors and screenwriters found inspiration, likening his real-life composure to the kind of stoic power his characters so often portrayed. The line between art and artist had blurred for a moment, and no one missed it. Asterisk in a surprising twist. Fan-made tributes began appearing online compilations of Eastwood's most iconic scenes, spliced with the now famous clip of him leaving the set. Memes, remixes, even short films popped up, turning what could have been a moment of controversy into one of reverence. It wasn't just about a clash on live TV anymore. It had become a symbol of knowing when to walk away. For a generation used to over-explaining, Eastwood's silence felt refreshing. As the public gradually moved on to newer headlines and fresher outrages, one thing was clear. While most walk-offs vanish into the media void, this one echoed, not because it was loud, but because it didn't have to be. Asterisk.